You're watching this because you've been there, haven't you? That feeling, 2 a.m., the moment when the world is quiet and your mind is anything but quiet. That feeling of being utterly alone. And if, like me, you're sick to death of the Facebook cringe posters people put up once a year during Mental Health Month, or Mental Health Day, whatever, saying, you are not alone. And that's it. Do you know what? That really pisses me off because they have no idea. They think they just put a poster up once a year and that's it. How does that help us? And I say us because I know how you feel. And this is not a motivational channel. I am not a doctor. I'm not trying to kick your ass into gear. I'm not saying I know all the answers. I'm not the most intelligent person in the world. I'm definitely not the most easy to understand with regards to my, taffy Welsh accent. But hey, over 30 years of mental health torture, hell, over 3 decades, over is kind of like, in a way, it's sort of interesting, bad and good in a way, because I've been there and I'm still there sometimes, many times. Okay, a lot. I can be up to you know the score. I know exactly how you feel. Whether you've got anxiety, like me, social anxiety, like me. Hey, I'll put my name, out there. I'll put my messed up problems. I'm trying not to swear too much. My messed up problems on a billboard for everyone to hear. I've been officially diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, PTSD, trauma, severe depression. So trust me, when I say I know how you feel, I know how you feel. I've been there and I go there all the time. 2 a.m. you sat there on your own or lying there on your own and you're just thinking, man, I wish I wasn't here anymore. I wish I had somebody to talk to. I wish perhaps you're one of these men who still believes, mental health equals weakness. I'm not in that category anymore, because don't get me wrong, I have every single one of the mental health conditions. You will not get anything but the truth from me, honesty, and to be honest, I will ramble on so much about this. May bore you to tears, but hey, this is me. My name is Matthew, and I have major mental health problems. But I'm a man, like you. I'm a real man, like you. I'm certainly not a weak man, like you. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, all this stigma of, people will say, man up. People will say, pull yourself together and stuff like that. If you're one of those men who was never ever spoken about it, I totally understand where you're coming from. I do. I really, really do. Because there is still, this big stigma out there which drives me crazy, you know. Notice the word crazy. Oh, I know I'm not crazy. I'm a normal human being who's got some issues. Sorry, but it's no different to a person who may have been in an accident and they've got a broken leg, a broken arm, whiplash, and a broken nose, perhaps from a car accident. So nobody would judge them and look at them different. But it's like a stigma these days. Ooh, there's a man with mental health problems. He's dangerous. He's a psycho. I know exactly how you feel. Trust me. Whether I mean, there's so much I could talk about you. Like whether you're in a crowd of people, and if you're like me, I mean, the thing I struggle with is initiating a conversation with anybody. And I mean, hey, if you paid me £500 or $500 if you're in America to make a conversation with a stranger for 30 seconds, I would immediately say, keep your money. No chance. I could never initiate a conversation with anybody. But if somebody talks to me, then I can talk back to them. I'm nervous at the start, but then, I start to calm down a bit. It's just the initiation of it all. I know exactly how you feel. You probably look at, if you're like me, you probably look at other men, maybe going to clubs or the pubs or going out with their friends to parties, to weddings, thinking nothing of it, and they're there just going, and you may be like looking at the situation thinking, man, I wish I was normal. I wish I was one of these, quote, normal people who, can just go to a pub, go to a wedding, go to a party, and, simple as that, just fit in and talk and have a whale of a time and just be normal. That's how I think about it. Trust me, so many years I missed out on, and if I could get those years back, I still wouldn't go. I'd still be like I am now. I wish I wasn't, but hey, it's so weird, because I walk around. I mean, I'm talking about myself now, but hey, I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that I'm not some I'm not some flipping guru or some motivational guy who's gonna be, hey man, like hey, my hero, right? One of my heroes, David Goggins. Okay, I'm not gonna be like him. Stay hard, get up tomorrow morning, and Jordan Peterson, make your bed, Jordan Peterson, make your bed, man. I mean, you should done something. Really, make your bed? Okay, that doesn't help us. Trust me, that. Hey, good advice, but hey, doesn't help me. And people. Oh, I tell you what, people on Facebook when they post up these posters, you're not alone, and oh, God loves you, kind of thing, and it's like, Jesus, how the hell does that help me when I'm 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm almost in tears or in tears, How the how the flipping hell does that help us? Help me, And some days, you wake up and you're like, oh damn, I've woke up. I've had that feeling a million times, and I still do. One day, some days are different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I very, 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 very rarely have a good hour or a happy or an even remotely happy hour in a year. Wake up every day and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I've woken up, and don't get me wrong, the fact is, none of you are weak, you know, and you have to listen to this. None of you are going to self-exit from this world, okay? You don't have my permission. Who am I? Nobody, but you don't have my permission. My best friend, someone who I've seen, and he's seen me, we've seen each other as brothers. I spoke to him the night before I found him, dead, self-exited from this world, because he had mental health problems as well, just like me. And we used to talk to each other about it, but I had no idea. At the time, we were both big 18 stone, steroid freak bodybuilders, and really, enjoying the training. And hey, I didn't know anything until he'd gone. And I've got receipts. You can go and Google this, right? Go to Google, search Wales online, bodybuilder dad felt he couldn't go on. And you will see 28th of the 4th, 2007, Christopher Phillips, my brother, best friend, just hurts like hell, but you'll see my name in articles in the newspaper. So I have got receipts, I am 100% genuine, and I know how you feel. I'm not one of these guys who may have said to you, if they said, "Hey, how are you? All right?" And you say, "Yeah, all right back," or "Okay, mate. Oh, yeah, okay, how are you? Oh, I'm good." No. If you're like me, God, I would so love to, say to somebody like that, I mean, let's be honest. If someone asks you, "Hey, you okay?" Or "Hi, how are you?" You're not going to come up and say, "How am I?" Well, actually, I'm really struggling with anxiety, depression, and to be honest, I really wish I wasn't here anymore. Because let's be honest, even though they've asked, "How are you?" A lot of people would be like, "Whoa, what the?" But I so wish somebody would, say to me, "How are you?" And me say, "Yeah, I'm good." And then I so wish sometimes somebody would just stop and say, "No, no, 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 no. How are you really?" And I would love that so much. And I know how you feel. I could ramble on about this forever, but trust me. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I do consider myself an expert, when it comes to suffering with anxiety, social anxiety, depression, PTSD, trauma, Unfortunately, and fortunately, I suppose, in a way, over 3 decades, I mean, promise you, I am not a person I hope YouTube doesn't mind this, but I'm not full of shit. I am that real guy, the real genuine guy, If you're looking for a guy who's like, "Hey, I can identify with him, he suffers with the same problems I suffer with," and whether you talk about your problems with other people, or whether you're not afraid to mention your problems like me, I don't care. I will literally, but if I had the chance and the money, there's a digital billboard not far from me in the middle of my town, only a small town, but if I could and I had the money, I would put my problems up there for the day and a picture of myself. Well, perhaps not a picture of myself, Hence why this is a faceless channel. Because the truth is, with the body dysmorphic disorder as well, and I just hate the way I look. I look in the mirror and I squint when I'm brushing my hair. I just hate me. It's just self-hate. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure some of you can understand. I mean, I know there's going to be people out there listening to this who've perhaps got anxiety and nothing else. Or they could have depression, nothing else. Or I hope not, but you could have all of the above like me, and it's goddamn hard. I mean, but know this, I know exactly how you feel. I know I've been there, and I'm still there at 2 a.m. in the morning with you. When you're sitting there and you're like, nobody cares, or nobody understands me. I can't talk to anybody. I feel so depressed. I feel so lonely. I just want a hug, kind of thing. I want somebody to talk to, but I know. I can't just say I've been there. I am there. And I wish I could magically cure everybody, but one, I'm not a doctor. Two, this whole mental health topic is so vast and so, varied depending on what kind of mental health problems you've got and how they came about, kind of thing. I mean, hey, after 3 decades, it's taken me 3 decades for it to just click only a few months ago how this all started for me. And that was trauma from, let's just say, a family member, nothing sexual. Let's just get this straight. Nothing sexual. Not my mother, not my father, but let's just say somebody else constantly beating the living crap out of me every day, all my life, embarrassing me, constantly mentally torturing me physically, and then I'd go to school the next day and be bullied and tortured in school. And I look back now and I'm just like, what the hell has happened the last 30 years? Why haven't I come to this conclusion now? That's how it all started. I think, geez, my poor little 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old self never had a chance to, stop being in. I wouldn't call it fight or flight mode. I would call it absolute terror mode, 24/7. My poor little young self never had a chance to feel safe, and just have a chance to grow up and be normal, as they say, in your quotes, normal. And that's how it was for me, and just destroyed my life. Totally destroyed me as a person, And I'm not saying, hey, there's no hope, give up, kind of thing, because you're not giving up. Because if you're listening to this, you're not. I'm not giving up, It's the fact that, I've only just worked this out. And the thing is, see, for 30 odd years, I've been going to the doctors, going to the psychiatrists, and not having a clue why I was like this. Until I cannot remember where I heard this from, but I remember somebody somewhere, I was watching a YouTube video, I think, and somebody somewhere said, ask not what's wrong with you, but stop you know, be quiet for a couple of minutes, you know, in a dark room, phone off, whatever off, you know, and ask yourself one question: what happened to you? And that shocked the life out of me because I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what the? And for the next God knows how long, I was just like, I knew exactly within seconds. I was like, oh, holy, why haven't I noticed this before? I mean, when I've been to see psychiatrists, doctors, everything, it's just been a case of, I don't know why I'm like this, you know, and I don't know. I just always thought, oh, some kind of chemical imbalance in the brain for some reason. I I now know exactly why I'm like this, and I'm 100% certain. But it doesn't change the fact, you know. Just because I know the cause doesn't mean, woo, I'm fixed. Not at all. I'm like this. I know I'm like this, and it's hard. It's so. I'm trying not to swear. I don't. I'm new to this, guys. Okay, this YouTube stuff. I don't know exactly if I'm even allowed to swear, but you know, I'm sorry. I mean, I've got to swear once. This, guys, this whole mental health stuff, it's fucking hard. Okay, I'm gonna say it once more. It is fucking terrifyingly hard, but I promise you, with me, you can contact me, you know, via the comments. You can contact me via email, you know, anything. No problem whatsoever. I will respond to every single one of you. You can put in the comments below, hey, what do you want to discuss next? You know, what you want to talk about next. If you don't trust me, don't believe me, you'll know straight away. 'Cause I'm just me. I'm not gonna stick to all this, you know. Oh, in YouTube, don't use filler words, don't use long pauses, or you've got to use this certain way and structure and blah blah blah. No. This is not. There's no script here. There's no prompt out in front of me, and yeah, I feel awful not being able to just speak. You know, with a camera on me. You know, so but I can't because of my mental health. Because I hate myself. I hate the way I look. Everything. You know. And anyway. So far, I promise you, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, and hopefully, memberships are not available on the channel. I don't know if I've quite said that right, but I've tried to do it so that memberships don't appear because I don't want anyone, you know, like having to join or anything like that. You know, because believe it or not, I am genuinely here just to hope. Hey, if I can make 100 videos from now on, I'll get better. I promise. Right? I'm hard to understand. I know, but if I can make 100 videos, and in 10 years' time, I can reach one person, and that one person can sit there for 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and think, "Wow, this guy feels just like I do." You know, because I had that feeling once when I lost it. I can't remember which channel it was now. It was ages ago, but I come across this video, which was along this kind of uh, diatribe or tangent I'm going on, you know. And a guy was explaining his mental health or what bothers him, kind of thing, what his problems are, and I was just like, wow, there's someone out there like me, You know what I mean? Who feels like this, who doesn't fit in, who, whether he's on his own, I could be on my own in the middle of a stadium, a concert, nobody around. I could be there with, hey, one of my favorite bands, Green Day, singing Jesus of Suburbia, or do you, yeah, you get what I mean. And just feel alone, whether you're surrounded by people jumping around, sweaty, screaming, or whether you're standing in there all on your own and there's nobody on stage. Either way, it's like it's 2 a.m. and you're on your bed alone, just depressed and down. And I just want you to know that I'm not a poster on Facebook. A flat poster on Facebook, which you see once a year on these some cringy people. You are not alone. They put on a poster, and that's it. It's like, what the fuck? How in the pardon the French? How in the hell is that supposed to help somebody? It winds me up. I say to them. And I sometimes have replied to some of them and said, look, I know you think you're doing good, but instead of posting these cringy posters up, which really wind a lot of us up, well, because you have no idea what the hell we are going through at 2 o'clock in the morning, Some of us are seriously thinking about, and none of you are. No, it ain't gonna happen. Don't you think about it, But they have no idea what we are going through. And sometimes I've replied to them and said, look, instead of posting up a poster saying, you are not alone, why not make the effort and instead of that poster, just say hello to somebody who you think may be quiet, or, hey, if you think someone's in your town is a bit of a weirdo, just make the effort just to say hi, or a nod, just to acknowledge them, kind of thing, say hello, because I'd say to them, that would make, you have no idea how sometimes just a hello from a stranger, to somebody suffering with mental health problems, it can make their day. It can absolutely make their day and fill them full of like, whoa. Instead of posting the cringy posters, make an effort and do something, or put your effort where your poster is. Reach out and try and help somebody, or do something charitable, or donate to charity instead, or offer to help, or I don't know, just oh. Anyway, guys, I'm really sorry. This is a really bad video. Not really a video, it's just me talking, I know, but I wish I had the guts, to be honest, the balls, the stones to put my face on camera. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean in the aspect of, hey, I've got 10 noses and 15 eyes. No, but I'm just like an average bloke, but I hate myself. I don't know why. I've done nothing wrong in the world, I'm not a criminal. One of my major flaws, until only recently, sort of the last 6 months, I've been, my psychiatrist said, anyway, after testing me, which I didn't even realize he was testing me, I scored too high, and these are his words, I scored too high on the empathy scale. And I had no idea what he meant at the time, but wow, now I do, I used to I haven't got much money to my name, but I used to lend everybody money. I'd give everybody lifts in my car, and I would be used and abused non-stop. But now, no more. I'm still that empathetic person, but with barriers. And I cannot believe it's taken me all these years to learn to be still empathetic, but put up barriers. Like, don't lend people money. Don't give every Tom, Dick, and Harry a lift in your car because they're just users. It's like, oh my God, I almost feel embarrassed. It's like, what the hell? Why? How come I'm only learning this now? It's so strange. And anyway, guys, I'm going to stop the video there, okay? I'm sorry, but I'm not going anywhere. And the kind of format of this is not going to get different. There's not going to be no Patreon. There's not going to be no memberships. There's not going to be anything. Hey, don't get me wrong. I would like you guys to definitely click like, leave a comment, anything. Say hi. Say, dude, can you talk about this in your next video or that in the next video? Or, hey, even help me out. Help me out, what would you like me to talk about? Because I'm as genuine as I come. And let's be honest, this niche I've chosen to go down, men's mental health, really, I mean, do you think I have made a single penny off this niche? Not a single penny. Not a single penny. I've only chosen this niche because I don't feel embarrassed about admitting it, but it is kind of sad, really. But it's the only thing I am an expert on, or the only thing I'm good at, the only thing I know how to do. I know how to, you know what I mean? It's the thing I'm good at, Suffering with mental health problems. Wow. What an achievement, huh? Anyway, guys, stick with it, please. And this ain't no poster. You are not alone. I promise you. Whether you choose to comment or not, it's okay. But, you're welcome to get in touch with me. Email me. You can message me in the comments if you want. Hey, maybe some of you will be brave enough to just, open up in the comments. I don't know. You don't have to be. I mean, I'm me. I'll tell the goddamn world who I am. Because I know. Well, I know 9 times out of 10, if someone tries to put to the test, mental health equals weakness, trust me, I know. I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm walking away from the situation, and they will be horizontal if it comes down to that. If they want to test, if they want to really take the litmus test of, he's weak, he's got mental health problems, Hey, sorry for them. I know I'm not a tough guy, and I don't think I'm a hard man or anything, but hey, in the past I've been in the ring, trust me. I've achieved certain things enough to, let's just say, I can defend myself, but I'll just be me and just be honest with you, and I'll tell you, I'm not one of these people who'll be on Facebook, boom, talking about all the good stuff, I'm not that guy who's gonna stand next to this person or that car or claim this or claim that. No, I'm the person, if anything, will be like, This is my problem. This is my issue. This is how fucked up I feel today. Pardon you too. This is, you know, and every single time I have never, ever, ever managed to get anyone, even though, we all know how many men, roughly out of how many men suffer with mental health problems, but do you think anyone has ever replied to any of my comments on YouTube or like my live video rantings, people speak up kind of thing, blah, 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 no man at all. Radio silence. And that's cool, that's up to them, but gotta break this, gotta break this stigma, that it means weakness, 'cause it doesn't. You're not weak. I'm not weak. Okay? I promise you. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I swear to God, I'm not bullshitting you. Just bear with me, and I'm not some random, cringe poster that's gonna appear on Facebook, well, virtually every goddamn day from people, and I'm not some guru, who's gonna be like, oh, you've gotta, make your bed and then you've gotta eat, I don't know, eat half a piece of toast and a teaspoonful of cayenne pepper, then do 6 push-ups on one arm, and you'll be awesome for the rest of the day. You get what I mean. No, that's not me. You're not gonna hear any motivational stuff, or guru chat, or it's just gonna be it's just gonna be me, Matthew Moss, telling it all how it is about my mental health problems, and why I'm doing it is because I just want to help other people. I just want other people who are struggling out there to realize that, hey, oh my God, there's someone out there like me. This guy feels exactly the way I do, or even if he's just got what he feels 1% of the way I do, or he just has one, maybe 2 problems that I do. I can't believe there's someone out there like me. Or, because it does make it a tiny bit easier, but it's so rare. Just no men are talking, No men are talking, and it crushes me because that's a lot, it's part of the problem. I mean, anyway, I'll cut it there for now, and I will carry on the next video. And please, I encourage you to comment what you would like to hear about next. Or, hey, I won't censor my comments unless they're disgusting or, nothing degrading, nothing disgusting, nothing abusive, no bullying in the comments. But hey, if you want to call me, hey, crazy, that's fine. I'll leave the comment there. No problem. I can take it. Just about. But no, seriously, hey, I'm not that kind of person, but please, don't go bullying me or each other, or calling each other names, or if you haven't got any mental health problems and you've listened to me and thought, holy shit, this guy goes on forever. He is, you may think, hey, he's fucking crazy, this guy is. He's off his goddamn rocker. You might think that if you don't have mental health problems, That's your opinion, and I'll leave your comment there, but guys, you know the score. The 2 a.m. guys and the guys, anyone with anxiety, depression, all of the above, like all of the above, like I do, please leave a comment about, just say hello, and or what you would like to see in a video or hear me talk about. You know, I've told you my problems. Ask me to speak on a specific topic if you like, or a specific thing about that particular mental health problem, and I will just tell you straight out, nothing is scripted. You know, obviously you can tell by this video, do you really think this is scripted? You know, I'm reading from a goddamn script. I'm not, I'm just going on, probably boring the crap out of you, so I will stop there for now, and I will be posting minimum 3 times a week. But guys, it is hard suffering mental health problems, and I mean, I gotta admit, it does sound a bit, quote, crazy to do a mental health YouTube channel while suffering with mental health. It is hard, and I'm not gonna lie, it is soul crushingly hard, but I can't help it. I like to help people. You know, even if just one person resonates with me and just thinks, whoa, he's like me. That's good. I've done my job, you know. I'm not in this for no money. You know, it is what it is. I mean, anyway, I'll leave it there. If you don't comment and make a comment of what you exactly would like me to talk about, you're going to get another gibbering video on another topic of mental health. But I'll be here 3 times a week, regular as clockwork. Hey, maybe 4 hours early on a day, maybe 5 hours later on a day, but I'll be, minimum 3 times a week. You might hear me gibbering on for more than that, but I'm not going anywhere. I promise you guys. I promise you, okay? I'm not going anywhere, and I know how you feel. When you're alone in the morning, you're not alone. I promise you. I'm looking at the same sky you were looking at. I promise you, you're not alone. I'll catch you guys in the next video, okay? This is genuinely cutting me up here, so I'll catch you guys in the next video, right? Love you guys. Be cool.